I find myself strangely drawn to this odd configuration of activity.
Yo, 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 what is up? It's your boy Mini TV here, back with another video. I'm sorry I haven't made a video in months, but I've been really busy with uni work, and also I was waiting for this patch to hit as well, and it finally has hit, the Outlanders update. Fantastic. Today, I have a great video for you today. It's going to be on a hero spotlight on the hero Puck. Now, this hero is insane in this meta right now. So good with the cast range, ability now on Waning Rift, and obviously the increase in talents as well, and just he fits so perfectly in this meta right now. So I can't wait for you what I have to show you what I have in store today. Also, quick shout out, my university daughter team, actually we qualified to the national, so we're playing the finals in Nottingham actually on Sunday. That's going to be hosted by ESL, so I'll leave a little link in the description and I'll be tweeting about it when we play. But other than that, let's jump straight into it. So guys, this is the game I wanted to show you. It's like a pretty average high-ish game. Like Maiden's like 835, Silencer is like 1000, so kind of like decent game. So to start off, I'm playing position 4 this game. So first things first, in terms of items, you know, obviously the kind of the strong kind of aura items like into laning, like the buckler is like pretty good, obviously, because it kind of gives aura to your teammates. Obviously the ring of Bassi and the headdress as well is quite good. In this game though, like particularly when you play Puck, I think there's kind of 2 item builds you can go. Either you can, how do I get rid of this? Actually, this is really annoying. There we go, perfect. I think either you can go Blightstone and then into like Regen and say 2 sets of Tangos and then Iron Branch, or you can go like straight into Ring of Bassi. In this game, I just wanted to really try to harass the Silencer and the PA, so just kind of like with like spells. So Ring of Bassi was useful. Plus with Pudge, like you can use Meat Hook quite a bit. Obviously, if I've got Ring of Bassi, I think maybe actually like on hindsight, Blightstone would have been better because I would have had a bit more regen. But obviously with couriers, everyone having courier now, like you can just send out regen whenever you want, and as long as it doesn't get sniped, you'll be fine. But nonetheless, went for Ring of Bassi here. So first thing you saw me do is instantly orb as soon as possible to try and get this ward down. Now this ward is quite important, particularly when you're playing Puck as position 4, because as I've mentioned before about the couriers always coming back and forth. If you can get a courier here and say the lane's down here and you see a courier, you can easily snipe it. Obviously now I've seen a little bit of vision as well. I took quite a bit of harass here because I thought my Wraith King was coming, but was a bit slow to come really, and as a result I took quite a bit of harassment when we probably could have killed them. But nonetheless, we're going to secure 2 bounty runes here. I take quite a bit of harassment as you see here, but if we get both of these bounty runes and maybe if we get 1 bot as well, I can just send out regen, so it's not the biggest of deals, to be honest. But yeah, going back to this ward, really important, particularly in this meta, like trying to kill couriers, and particularly if you can kill like the carries courier, it can really set them back. And as a mobile hero like Puck, obviously with the illusionary orb, it's very easy to kill couriers early on because they're so slow. So really important. As I said, regen coming straight out to me. And whenever you play position 4, and particularly when you play Puck, all you want to be doing is trading as efficiently as possible and just right-clicking them to try and get them low. Obviously, the lower they get, the more chance you have an ability to get kills on, basically. So we'll speed up here, like, but the kind of the understanding of the laning phase is just trying to right-click as much as you can. So just right click, and just trying to harass them. Obviously, it makes space for your offlaner to get CS, but also not only that, but it allows you to potentially get a kill. And so obviously if you can get two hits while the silencer can only get 1 hit, you're trading effectively. It's all about trading effectively. It gets better obviously when you get phase level 2 if you want to get phase shift. I think in this lane I decided actually to get a level 2 Waning Rift because of the fact that we have kill potential. But if you want to play a bit more passive, level 2 phase shift is useful as well because you can obviously trade with 1 auto attack and then dodge that. That wasn't the greatest trade there, got hit twice by the silencer, only hit 1 off. So just trying to have good position in and a good right click so that when you trade, you're trading effectively. But as you can see, make sure you're using your mana as well, like otherwise you're just wasting mana. Ring of Bassi, I've got it to try and keep I took a lot of harassment there actually, bad positioning from me. I get a phase shift in this matchup because this Silencer is doing lots of damage actually. Nice hook by Pudge there, and that's probably going to secure a kill for us there. And it does, so decent from him. But yeah, obviously I've got Crystal Maiden on my team as well as Ring of Bessie, so I need to be really using my mana as much as possible. The thing is though, is that obviously you don't want to use it like too much in the fact that it's your escapability as well. So you want to kind of have it ready to use if you need it, but also making sure that I was looking for the courier there, but I see Silencer, so decide to go back. So in terms of why like you kind of go these kind of big starting islands as soon and early as possible, and as I see Silencer sort of doing the stack and pulling, I'm going to man up on the carry, is because of all these neutral items right now, you're getting so many free items from your carry, from your mid, from wherever. As I try and stop this pull, wasn't able to do it. So you don't really need to kind of make and buy your own items. So I'm just going to try and save gold, like wait for more items to be picked up and given to me so that I can use it. And this is another kind of thing as well. Like obviously, if I went for the Blightstone, I'd have probably the Blightstone and the Ring of Bessie. So then you have a bit more kind of value in these item slots. Because right now I'm obviously have no item slots and not using them at all. So maybe it would be better to go Blightstone and then buy the Ring of Bessie. But as I talk about the auras, you know, Pudge has got the buckler. So in that respect, it's pretty nice. I end up dying here, but we get a kill on the PA. So I think we get a kill on PA. No, we don't, but gets him low enough. And that's the kind of the dangerous thing, obviously. If you're using the orb for harassment, like then you have no kind of safe play in itself. Nice hook by Pudge again, actually. And that's the kind of that's the strength of Waning Rift right there. Like obviously in the last patch, I wasn't able to get that kill, but with Waning Rift having range now is a huge deal, actually. Obviously, 5 minutes, bounty runes as useful as ever in the same as this patch as in last. So make sure you get them as soon as possible. I'm making sure he's not pulling. That's another thing. Like as position 4, it's really important that you don't let them pull. I'm doing some crazy shit right here. Don't know what I'm going and why I'm running behind the tower, getting well too aggressive actually there. Yeah, so same items. Like obviously. Building boots, I have to use a shrine solo because I made a really bad play there, actually, just running behind the tower for no reason. But yeah, boots obviously really important. It allows you to trade better, allows you to kind of harass and man up. So like right now, like we're doing okay in this lane, but I mean Silencer is a great hero against Puck because obviously the silence and stuff. But we end up killing him. Nice orb actually from me, so in that case I was able to use the orb for harassment as well as kind of a getaway clause as well. Do it from the side. SD comes TB's top as well. Yeah, so another nice hook. Pudge played really well actually, and I'm not able to get this because he hits level 6 and he starts manning up on me actually, and I kind of man down. He sows and I miss him on that attack as well. So, but I didn't die. Kind of important. But yeah, like so this lane, like Silencer right now in the meta is really strong, like really strong position 5 because he can harass so much with the Glades of Wisdom, giving him int still as well. So particularly as an int position 4, Silencer is very strong in the lane. But you'll see like Puck, yes, he's strong in the lane, but he's kind of his real strength lies elsewhere, and that's more in the kind of the mid game where he's able to really push and kind of pressure and outside the map. TB mid wasn't really needed because like TA was already dead, but with PA, with Silencer rotating bot, which we see from this ward here, I don't really need to babysit Pudge anymore because PA can't really man up against Pudge too much. So I'm waiting to sort of see if PA is going to come back to lane, but he doesn't. I'm going to kind of go search for him, trying to mess with him a little bit. Try and see him, realise that this camp has been killed, so I know he's farming, so we can pressure this tower, and I ping it out as well. So a really important thing right now is, I mean, it was really important last patch where getting towers is really key and really critical, but this patch even more so because we want to be securing the outpost, particularly at that 10-minute mark, because obviously you get the XP advantage from the outposts at 10 minutes on the dot, and obviously every 5 minutes after that as well. So if you can take a tower before 10 minutes to really secure this top half of the map, secure the bounty runes as well, it's really important, and that's why we see CM rotating as well. So like right now, like we've kind of secured our top lane. You know, there were some misplays from me for sure. I could have played a lot better in this top lane, but nonetheless, we kind of won our lane. A was to get the tower before 10 minutes. So now, right now, because now the laning stage is starting to really kind of diminish now, and it's starting to rotate more into the mid game. You have kind of two things you can do now as the position 4 as Puck. Either you can, and which is my preferred option, is kind of get your offlaner to kind of make plays, particularly if he's a hero like Pudge who's very aggressive, to make plays elsewhere on the map, so I can sit top. And this way I can sit in this lane, get my levels, get my experience, but most importantly is I'm looking to get really early boots of travel. Very, very greedy, but if you can make it work, it can really pay off. In some ways, if you can get boots of travel and Puck early, it's basically like a Midas. It's literally like a Midas. We see that the Silencer here, able to get him. I think I used coil. Yeah, we skill kill on him as well. And things like this, like it's a 60-second cooldown. Like, yes, maybe people say, oh, you should save it for team fights, but in scenarios like this, just use it if it can get you a kill, particularly this early on, because it's not going to be big team fights this early on. But yeah, so just trying to sit in this top lane, always keeping it pushed out. The more you push out this top lane, the more longer you can secure this outpost. And obviously, I'll have a TP, or I should have a TP with me. So if mid's getting dove mid, or bots getting dived, I can TP rotate in with the Dream Coil. But sitting in this top lane, forcing the carry to go jungle and making plays like this into the enemy jungle is really, really important. Because now we're 3k up at 12 minutes, and a big part of this is taking the tower and playing in this sort of part of the map. It's really, really important. So I'm going to sit in this top lane close to my travels. Now, back to the point about travels. Travels on this hero is so good because you're so mobile, you're able to burst down creep waves, and you're very difficult to kill. So when you're pushing aggressively, it's very, very easy to play the aggressive part of the map and fight in the places where your team doesn't want to farm. So these places and these positions on the map, your team doesn't really want to play them. So if you can play them, that's just extra gold for your team that was going to go to waste. And so because of that, picking up travels is really, really key actually. As for skill build right now, I'm really, really enjoying the Max Waning Rift because of the cast range kind of buff to it. It's quite big, really, really important, but also because the increased silence. Like if you look at the skill actually, if I just put myself on player perspective, if you look at the skill and how it ranks up in comparison, so Illusory Orb, it scales up with damage and 1 second cooldown reduction, but the mana cost is quite heavy, 20 mana cost increase. Whereas for Waning Rift, like it's an increase in silence, it's an increase in damage, and it's a decrease in cooldown. And the mana cost is only up by 10 in comparison by 20. So keeping a low level of Illusory Orb is really low mana cost. So maxing Waning Rift is in my opinion, is the best way to play him right now, particularly because of the increase in silence. And in almost every single scenario now, you can get Waning Rift off on good targets because of the small cast range. It's really, really good actually at the moment. So maxing it out. And as you can see, I'm just going to be sitting in this off lane, allowing Pudge to do whatever he wants. He can jungle, he can make plays, he can go for aggressive plays if he wants to, but someone should be sitting in this lane. And in this case, it's going to be me because there's no way I die. Now I've got travels as well, I become even more aggressive, even more ability to be useful. I instantly TP down bot, I see a rotation, and I want to get involved when I can. And having the travels available to me, allows me to keep pushing lanes, keep making map control. A bad coil here, miss the coil on the TA, but it's not going to make a big difference. Pudge rotates in, and we secure the kill on Silencer actually as well, but the travels allows me to get into every engagement while still doing my job and my role as someone who's pushing out lanes and controlling map control. Because right now in this patch, having map control and dominating the lanes, so your team can farm the jungle to get these items is really important. And Puck allows you to do that really, really well actually. Because without the travels, I'd be able to either push lanes or get involved in team fights. But with travels now, I can do both. I can be pushing lanes and I can be getting involved into every team fight. And it's so useful. Should have phase shift that meld attack by TA, but I phase shift that one. And as a result, we end up killing, I think, the Magnus as well. nonetheless, oh, actually, I remember this. I get, what is this? I end up getting side-bladed. I remember that. That was quite funny. Trying to keep being useful, seeing as Dream Coil was coming up, but end up getting side-bladed and end up as being a bit of a disaster in the end. But still, you know, just as long as you do your job, like you can afford to be making these, you know, small misplays in team fights. Because your job as a position 4, and particularly as a puck, is keeping lanes pushed out. You know, if you look at any kind of YouTube creator right now, they're talking about like how to understand the patch, and it's all about controlling. Like, you know, last patch was about controlling the map, but nowadays it's about controlling the map so you can farm the jungle. And you know, if the lanes are pushed in and you're kind of penned into your own base, it's very, very difficult to farm the jungle. But you know, keeping the lane pushed out allows your team to make plays, you know, and push, you know, their farm into the jungle. So, you know, and with these 2 spells maxed out, it's so easy to clear creep waves. And obviously, if there's a team fight engagement going on mid, I can instantly be there with my boots of travel, even though I've TV'd top. So, in terms of other items, as I do see here for no reason, other items that are really good on puck, particularly right now. You know, a lot of people are playing Void Spirit. A lot of people are, you know, playing a lot of these magic damage heroes. Going Veil is really, really useful. Not only is it just you know, a great item for playing, you know, as yourself, because all your skill set is magic based. The item itself is actually so good now. It was buffed actually in the last patch. 9 attributes right now is insane. And obviously now it's, instead of reduction in magic resistance, it's 20% increased damage from spells. It also works with pure spells as well. So I don't think we actually have any pure spells this game, but just overall, Veil of Discord right now is so good. And also obviously it builds from Ring of Bassi, which I had from the start of the game. So it's a nice easy rotation to come in here. We go ahead and kill on the PA, but Crystal Maiden didn't have ulti, so as a result wasn't really able to get a kill. If we had PA's Crystal Maiden's ulti, we probably could have secured the kill, but we didn't want to get critted down and just die instantly, so we ended up playing a bit more passive on that kill there. But yeah, so getting like Veil of Discord is really, really nice right now. I think it's a great item. Arguably, obviously, maybe I could have gone Yules before Veil of Discord, because obviously I'm playing against a Silencer, and you know, playing as a puck, you want to make sure you have all your skill sets open and ready to available to you if possible. Nice silence off here, stops the RP from Magnus as well. And you know, obviously with the Raining Rift, you don't need to be getting a Blink Dagger so early. You can just be going for these kind of aggressive items like Veil of Discord, like Yules Scepter, for example. Still chasing over here, and these are the kind of items. I mean, in this game, I only got 1 item actually as we kill Magnus here, but this is just like kind of the aggressive plays that you're able to do. Like, remember, I TV'd back to base. Like, if we go back to that engagement there, like before this engagement starts, I TV'd back there because I had no mana. Like, if I didn't have travels, I wouldn't be able to get back into this team fight because I TV'd back to base. But I was able to be here, able to get the silence up onto 2 targets, stops that Magnus RP, and because of my mobility, I was able to, you know, ensure this team fight carries on. And we'll just skip fast because we've seen already what's happened here. Obviously, and going back to, you know, having these items, like in this game, like this is kind of a rare occurrence. Like, I've only had 1 item this game, which, you know, it's a great item on Park Growth Bow, like 100 attack range, but it also reduces the magic resistance of, you know, any targeted, any attacked enemy. So really nice combo. But normally, like most puck games, I'm getting like 2 or 3 items just given to me, so you can kind of rush these kind of greedy items like boots of travel, you know, these bigger items, without having the, you know, the stat increase that was very value in the previous patch. You know, everyone was buying braces, everyone was buying null talismans, just kind of fill out the item slots, excuse me, as much as possible. But now, in this kind of patch where, you know, you can be given basically like a 2,000 gold item just for someone jungling in your team, it allows you to play greedy and get, you know, go for these bigger items. But yeah, so the same. I think one thing I need to mention as well that I've kind of I've played. This is what actually like a previous replay that. This is like one of the first games of Puck I played actually on the new patch, but I've played it a lot more since, and I realised, oh man, my voice is going. One thing I've noticed is that actually at level 10, you really want to get the cast range talent as soon as possible. In this case, I ended up maxing phase shift before I got the talent tree. But obviously, if you're not going Blink Dagger, the cast range talent, obviously with the extra cast range ability given onto Waning Rift, is such a big thing. Obviously, it increases the cast range of Illusion Orb and also increases the cast range of Dream Coil as well. So I would definitely recommend that level 10 getting the 200 cast range talent straight away instead of waiting for it at like level 15, for example. Securing bounty runes at 20 minutes ends up securing a kill on the TA as well. And this all goes back to kind of keeping lanes pushed out, so we was able to, you know, engage that. But yeah, I ended up, yeah. Obviously, another thing as well, you can skip past the level 10 talent. If you max out all your spells and get level 15, you can go straight into a level 15 talent, which, you know, is pretty good. 15% spell amp is probably better than 200 cast range, but you know, in hindsight, I should have been getting the 200 cast range because it's just so value on your hero. Although, you know, max phase shift is useful as well. 3.25 seconds, you know, phase shift is really nice, particularly in, you know, team fights where they can burst you very easily. But for sure, I definitely think the cast range is really important. So again, I'm just like trying to play the parts of the map that is really really difficult for my enemy team to play. So playing in the safe lane, keeping this tower up, again, really important. We get a TP from Void Spirit, so we can play aggressive here. One thing, as I miss my Waning Rift as he disrupts, one thing to mention as well, as you see like in this engagement here, like I'm running out a lot of mana, and this is with a CM on my team as well. And another thing that I've recognised after playing a lot more of Puck is just having a lot of clarities on you. I buy clarities now, but always buying clarities, and this is with a CM on my team. So obviously, if you don't have a CM on your team, you're going to need more clarities than that. But at the same time, obviously, having this travels and TP combo, like you can always just TP back to base and then travels back into the team fight if you need to, which is just kind of the beauty of travels in this patch. I mean, travels is such a great item, honestly. I'd recommend it on a lot of heroes, and on Puck, it's just so value, so value. So obviously right now at the stage of the game where, like, again, your kind of ideas of how to play Puck is the same basically. You just want to be keeping the off lane pushed out as much as possible because it forces a rotation, say, from their carry to want to play this lane, want to farm it out if you're pushing it into the tower, which allows the other parts of your team to make plays elsewhere. And as you can see, it's like this is probably if you take anything away from this video, this is probably the most important thing you can take out. You know how, like, I used to play a lot of carry anti-mage, and right now, playing as a position 4 Puck is kind of the same thing, actually. What you want to be doing right now is pushing a lane so far, say, into the tower, or being a nuisance into one particular lane, that it forces out a rotation. In this case, I forced out 2 rotations, PA and TA coming up. Of course, I have this ward here, so I can see both of these. But when I force a rotation out by playing so aggressive and pushing into the enemy off lane, my team can then make a play on the other side of the map and make for engagement, say, into this team. As a result, my team can make plays as 4 against their 3 because these 2 have rotated top. And because I've got travels, I can then make that numbers advantage even greater. I can TP in there, and we can take a, you know, in this case it's a 4, but if we had Wraith King here as well, it'd be 5. We could take a 5 team fight against their 3, and we'd win it every single time just because of numbers advantage. And that's only because I've forced out a rotation here. So what you want to be doing is just forcing rotations, being that annoying, you know, anti-mage-like player who's, you know, split pushing, rotating over. And because you can build travels, obviously on anti-mage you're not going to be building travels, but on position 4 Puck you can then go ahead and rotate to the team fight wherever it is. And this kind of small thing can make such a big difference in team fights, you know. In this case, we don't end up taking a team fight. I think we do, yeah. We end up going for it because we know top lane is engaged on. We kill the Magnus, we kill the SD as well. And that's just a simple play that's, you know, given us so much, you know. I try and get a yields on the silencer, but wasn't able to do it, and all that is because of my small rotation and small kind of play up top, and now I have TP up again. I can defend the tower that they've then TP to, and they feel obliged to make happen because, you know, they TP top, but they feel like they need to do something, you know. I'm a little bit scared of just me and CM versus their carry in mid, so I back off in the end. But yeah, and that play can be made every single time. I'm just going to sit in this lane, take the outpost, and continually push this lane out until someone rotates, and then again we can make a play down here. And that's all I was doing this whole game. And in the meantime, I'm getting good farm, I'm getting good levels. I'm level 17, where everyone else is, you know, level 12, level 13. You know, this is the enemy offlaner right now, level 13. I'm level 17 as a position 4. I'm the same level as my offlane Pudge right now. And, you know, no one really wants to be pushing, like no one can on my team can really push up here without getting, you know, taken, you know, just killed and TB'd onto. Whereas Park, you know, I've got my yields now, you know, Silencer isn't a threat to me. I can defend these towers as well, like keeping this tower up. Yeah, if you can keep your towers alive, particularly the tier 1 towers, these outposts are so much easier to control and to take. In this case, obviously, there's a fight going on mid, but TA's down bot, so at least a 4-on-4 engagement. And, you know, this is their mid. I'm the position 4. You know, the TA needs to be in this team fight, but obviously he's not. They kill Magnus, they kill the SD because I'm forcing a rotation out from the TA who was trying to take this tower. And so it's like, yes, Puck is so good in team fights, obviously. He has great Dream Coil ability, he has great Waning Rift, but, you know, TP come from the PA here. I'm not even scared. I have Yules, you know, I have Phase Shift. I'm just kind of playing around with the PA here. There's no way he kills me. He ends up trying to take it to the outpost again, but my team at the current time is taking rack. So I'm not, you know, I'm just trying to mess with this PA as much as possible, and I TP in whilst TA cannot, you know, or PA cannot. So these small things, you know, just trying to really force out rotations, kind of make the enemy team look one way while you're doing the next, is really critical and really important. And if you can do that, particularly, I mean, this is like a mortal bracket. If you do it in your brackets, maybe in the lower brackets, it'll be even more effective because they'll be even more disorganized. Of course, we end up getting jumped on here, but we've already taken racks now. It's kind of already a big win. So if we can get out here without too many casualties, it will be a success. Really, I end up getting like one-shot crit by the PA. I'm trying to get my team to come back. Pudge dies, but, you know, Wraithking gets a lot. So, you know, we traded a racks for the offlaner and the position 4, and that's a trade we'll take every single day. So, you know, things like that, and that all comes from you know allowing my team to push mid while PA's looking at the outpost and me bottom, for example. And another good thing about the travels as well is that, you know, you can, if you have the outpost, you know, a lot of the time sometimes there's a big team engagement, say around in, you know, the dire jungle or the dire trier camp, that you can TP to outpost and just take bounties, and just having these, you know, someone as mobile as Puck to continue to take bounties is really, really important. So I've got my Veil now, I've got my Yules, and now because people are going to start to be building BKB, so obviously PA is already working towards hers, TA already has hers, I buy back to try and secure this Roche and end up not the greatest coil really. I try and snatch the Aegis, die. Wasn't the greatest placing as I bought back and died without anything, but Wraith King ends up kind of sweeping house, I think, for the most part. We at least get rid of the Aegis on the TA. But Pudge is here as well. He's alive, and I think the team fight goes not too bad for us. I mean, this PA is doing so much work. He's hitting so hard. Wraith King bites back, and I think we end up just backing off, I think, in the end. So wasn't the greatest play really there by me. Probably should have maybe just let them take Roche. They were already killing it. Bit of a slow and a bad misplay, and this is what I mean. Like, sometimes you can make bad misplays, but, you know, if you can keep lanes pushed out and things like this, you know, it can, like, having this kind of split push identity as Puck allows you to really kind of cover over some of the mistakes that can be made in team fights, which is a big deal.
So yeah, back to the Ags point. Ags, so good now on puck. It's like if you look at the scepter, so scepter damage, break damage, 700 on the break damage, 4.5 second break stun duration as well. And these are on heroes that are very, very mobile, who want to be bouncing around in a team fight. People like PA, obviously with Phantom Strike. Templar Assassin with Blink, for example. These heroes want to be, bouncing around in a team fight, and when you get Ags, it completely nullifies that ability. So honestly, I think Ags is so good. And seeing as you don't really need Blink Dagger because you have cast range talents, you have cast range on the Waning Rift now, you don't really need Blink Dagger, so you can get Ags and either faster time as well. So I'm I probably should have had a TP on me really, because I could have TP top onto the PA. I say sorry to my team because it was a really bad misplay. If I'm there, like we can probably kill this PA very easily because the BKB is going to be running out, and still I'm not there. So really bad play by me. Make sure, I mean, it's a simple thing, but make sure you always have TP available. I end up killing this silencer in the end. I didn't realise how much damage he does actually, so I end up kind of backing off and just waiting for my cooldowns to come back up again, and then I end up going back on into him and killing him. But I should have been top really. If I had a TP on me and realised where I was TPing to, I could have easily TP'd top onto the thingy, but I end up killing the silencer in the end. Bad combo as well, should have failed before, but we end up killing the silencer. But obviously in the meantime my team ends up dying top, and I should have been there. I end up nearly dying, TPing into like 3 people. Yeah, so that was definitely my misplay there, but what can you do? So level 20 talent. So both of these level 20 talents are actually really, really good. There's definitely an argument to be had for going the illusionary orb distance speed as well, because you don't go blink dagger, because obviously the illusionary orb can kind of work as a sort of pseudo blink dagger, because it's so fast, it kind of acts very quickly, and you can go really far with it as well. However, 9-second Waning Rift cooldown is absurd if you think about it. 4-second Waning Rift cooldown with a 3.5 second silence. So when they don't have BKBs, they can be silenced basically forever, but have a 0.5 second ability and time frame to use spells. It's actually, and it's so much damage as well. With Veil of Discord, it's actually crazy. So I think the illusionary orb is good, but I just think Waning Rift cooldown is just so much better. Like the amount of damage you can do and the amount of Waning Rifts you can do in a team fight. Like if a team fight lasts 20 seconds, that's 5 Waning Rifts. It's honestly absurd, and obviously it allows you to have extra mobility. You can Waning Rift up and down cliffs for juke spots and things like that. I think it's so good, and it obviously helps you push waves as well. So really, really important, and it's really, really good as well. And as you can see, like these team fights are happening because I'm really like the last say 2 or 3 minutes. I haven't really been giving too much emphasis on pushing lanes. Lanes have been kind of more on our side of the river instead of theirs, so they're able to make play. So I'm trying to get back into really trying to force and push creep wave as much as possible. So I'm closing in on my Ags now. One more creep wave will do it. Void Spirit doesn't have buyback, so I'm going to try and see if I can force a rotation out from top. Doesn't look like it's going to be, but I ITB back. Have my Ags now, so if they dive, they're going to get punished because my Ags is going to do a lot of work. Nice hook from Pudge. End up getting RP, but I end up dodging it with a coil. But 3-man coil actually, and as a result, 3 buybacks, and they're all very much committed. These leash durations, and it ends up getting hooked as well back into base. So we end up wiping them actually, and the Ags Dream Coil was a big part of that. They don't get racks, they get punished for their dive, and as a result, we end up pushing forward because of it. So really key Ags timing there actually that made a big difference in that fight there. Void Spirit ends up catching the Shadow Demon as well. So overall 5-man wipe. I try and join in on the fun as well on the SD. And SD dies as well. So big team fight in the last minute, and as a result, pushing top, pushing mid. I'm going to go cut the bot lane as well, so we can pressure in bot. So,
Yeah, so that's mainly the most part of the game here, because going forward we end up taking, I think, racks, and the rest of the game basically is history after that. But yeah, so that's for the most part the game. They end up defending the racks there, and it takes a bit longer, but for the most part, you know, you can get some silly items and puck going forward now. You can get like Dagons and things like that. But I don't want to make this video too long. I know a lot of my videos previously, you know, take over an hour, but I just wanted to get the main kind of gist of the hero, and hopefully I've done that. So thanks guys for that, and I hope to see you in another video. But make sure, guys, please follow, please subscribe, and have a like on the video if you've liked it as well. I'll be making more videos in the coming weeks because this new patch has really got me hyped to play more and more Dota. But until then, guys, peace.
Commendable notion.